Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, Blue Dot, Red State. I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. I mean, I've been getting several new subscribers, so I really do appreciate you being here. And if you haven't subscribed, now would be a great time to subscribe and for everybody to like this video. It helps to grow my channel. It tells YouTube that, yes, this is a great video and more people need to see it. So, and that's how I grow my channel. So I really do appreciate it. The focus of today's reading is going to be specifically about Abrego Garcia. He is now back on American soil. However, I think he's still being detained, and but he's in America. He's in the USA, and they've brought bogus charges. The government has brought bogus charges against him about human trafficking, MS-13, all the stuff that they said that they have accused him of. They now are presenting that evidence. And so there is that case going on. The other thing is that this stuff in front of Judge Xinis has not gone away. In fact, I was watching, as I was preparing for the readings, I kind of go through some of my, the YouTube, subscriptions, and Michael Popak from Legal AF is one who I watch, and he had an update on the Abrego case, and I was like, what? And so I watched that, and I'm not going to go through all that right now. I will link it in the description for you to follow, because I was like, I don't think I could follow all of that. He does a really good job of breaking it down. Basically, what is going on with Judge Xinis, I think that's how you say her name, is that the defense, the plaintiff, sorry, I was thinking about that, Abrego Garcia's side, they are wanting sanctions against the government officials. And basically the way he explained it was, like basically steps A, B, and C, like this has to happen and then this can happen. If she agrees to this, then this can happen. And and what they're wanting is to get their phones. They want to confiscate their phones for discovery to show that, in fact, they were, impeding the return of Abrego Garcia. They weren't facilitating. And if you heard cat hissing just off the side here, that is still Max following Morgan around. So she wasn't hissing at me. She was hissing at Max. She probably was hissing at me. She hisses at everybody. 15-year-old Calico. So anyway, was that on this reading? I do several readings in a row, and I don't ever remember like what readings like I've said things in. So if you didn't see my cat Morgan, that must have been the previous reading, and she was up here, pet her, and then she growled or hissed because I've got another cat that follows her around, just aggravates her, and she's like, get away from me, and he's like, but I love you. Anyway, side quest. So what I'm wanting to know is, I want to know about that case, and as I said, I don't know exactly. I want to know, are the plaintiffs going to win? Is Judge Xinis going to rule against the government? Like, are their phones going to get confiscated? Like, are they going to get what they want? And remember, this judge is like put out with the government because they stalled, they did, the delay tactics, they did all of, that MO, and she was like, she's had it. So I want to know that. And then I want to know what's going to happen to his court case with all the bogus. In fact, there's been somebody resigned over it, the way this case has been handled, because it was like a federal prosecutor. Is this case in Kentucky? There was a federal prosecutor in Kentucky. I think that's where this case is. And he resigned over it. Like, wherever that is, he resigned because of the mishandling of this case and of the evidence. That it made it sound like they've made this up. So that's what I kind of want to look at, both of those cases. One, the government case, again, or actually the first one I want to look at is the plaintiffs, Abrego. Are they going to get everything they want? Is the judge going to rule against the government? And then both of these actually are going to be, are these judges going to rule against the government? That's kind of what I want to know. Okay. As always, these are for entertainment purposes only. We're going to look at the first one, which is the Judge Xinis, and is she going to grant all of the sanctions that they're asking for, which includes getting the phones. So is Judge Xinis going to rule against the government? So, yeah, okay. I asked that was a lot that happened right there. I need to focus. Okay. Is Judge Xinis going to rule against the government? That's what I want to know. Okay. Is she going to rule against them? Okay. Entertainment purposes only. Government. That's right there in the heart of this, the here and now, and their rash decisions and actions that they took. That's the challenge. So this is telling me this is not a well thought out plan. This is someone who just charges forward without really planning or thinking. Reckless action is what this is, taken by our government. So this is not boding well for them. I think this judge is going to be ruling against the government. There she is, the sword of truth, and she rules. I'm going to say it's like in favor of our country. So if you look at these two cards, this is more our government and like what the government's doing. This is more like the spirit of our country. Think of like that mother nurturing, and so she is sitting here going, you're not operating within the spirit of our country. You are taking, these laws that our country is built on and acting recklessly. Okay, that's really what I'm getting here. So I think that this judge is going, I had that backwards, sorry. This judge is going to, the sword of truth falls, and she's in control of the orange beast. She's exerting her control there in strength and bringing this administration to it. This case is getting ready to come to an end. Everything is getting ready to come to an end. It's not just this case, but I was asking about this. She is going to rule against the government. She's going to rule in favor of Abrego Garcia. She's going to, everything that they've asked for, she's going to give them. Okay. She is put out with this administration, and I feel like, what the judge does is a appropriate reaction to how they have presented themselves and conducted themselves in her courtroom. So I don't want to make it sound like, oh, she's just itching to do that. No. She's actually just wanting them to comply. And because they haven't complied, there's consequences. And because they sent him to Venezuela and they shouldn't have, defying another court order, several court orders, it's that like there's consequences for your actions. That's the feeling I'm getting. Like, it's not that she wants to do this. She's upholding the law, and there's consequences, okay, to what they've done. Well, that's good. And I'm sure that they'll do the same delay tactics. So, and then you got Trump there. Oh, I'll just pardon everybody. So what is happening with the case that the government has against Abrego Garcia? Hold on just a second. Okay. Yep. What are you doing, Max? What you doing? Okay. Sorry, he was rubbing up on my feet. And I'm like, who is that one? Okay, so the government case. The government case against Abrego Garcia. How is that going to go? Okay, with that, this is a moving forward case. I wonder if the truth is being told. It's like two sides, like being in court. I think this case, he's not going to throw it out. I will say that. He's not throwing the case out. I almost wonder if there's not going to be like a countersuit to this because of the wrongful, like he was deported, and there was orders to not do that. Moving in a new direction with this, things are up in the air, and happiness. So what's going to happen there? Who is this? Drunk on power. Okay, hold on just a second. I want to take a minute and look at this. He was deported, moving in. This is deception. Like, it's not necessarily deception. In this government, in this administration, it is. This is one of the I'm feeling like the evidence. This is the evidence, and it's like murky at best. Like he was deported for reasons that it's like, but you said this, but you said this, but she's like, they keep changing their story. They keep changing the evidence. They keep changing what it is that they're saying and doing. And it's like this whole drunk on power, we have to win. And the reason I say drunk on power is this is the happiness card, but it's also, too much happiness, think gluttony. And that's where, then, the drunk on power. So what will the judge, like, what happens? What's the outcome of this for Abrego Garcia? I'm a little surprised that the judge isn't just throwing it out like he's having it go forward. This judge, this is the way things are run in my courtroom, a very methodical plan going forward. He is not dealing with the, he's setting that tone right off the bat. He is not going to deal with their runaround. It's like, that's not how we do things in my court. And it's taken a few of these judges to kind of see, how they handle, the MO, and they're coming back and, and so by the time you get to like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth judge, they've seen what the government does. And this judge particularly is like, this is not how we do things in my courtroom. Okay. I think he's going to be more forceful. He's going to be more, I don't want to say combative, but more pushing back on the government tactics. Okay. And then for Garcia, Abrego Garcia, how is this outcome for him? Victory. After being, detained, I think that this is the Trump administration is being told no, they lose, and I really think he's going to come out on this. He's going to win that case. I don't think the government has really a leg to stand on, and you've already got somebody who's resigned over that. So I wonder. I don't feel like, is he going to have to stay detained? Is he going to stay detained during this? Like waiting for his trial date. Good news. He at least had the judge has good news, and I was asking, is he going to be? Is he going to be released on bond? Okay. I don't know if he's going to be released on bond. It's almost like I really don't know if he's going to be released on bond. What I will say is that this judge, that's this judge card. The judge in this case is coming up as the King of Wands. So I think he's very fair. I get the feeling of he's very fair. He runs a very tight courtroom, and he's used to. Wands sometimes can be used as like the bully club. For him, what I'm feeling like, this is messages of truth. That's the main thing. Like he runs a tight ship. I think most judges do, and he does not tolerate there not being the truth. Okay, and he has some really good news, because I was asking about, like, is Abrego Garcia going to be detained while waiting trial? And these cards would indicate. Maybe not. This government is just so horrendous. I don't know that I would want to be a judge releasing him out. But there's very good news. And the good news could be just that you have access to, like, your family. You have access to your children. You have access to your lawyer. Like, you have access. But the feeling of keeping him detained, I will say, I would not be surprised if he's not released on bond. That I will say. I have a feeling like the judge wants to do that, but I don't know that because of his status, I don't know that he could get the judge could do that. It's almost like this feeling like the judge wants to do that. I don't know that he can do that. And so he makes it very easy for the lawyer. And yeah, he makes it very easy. This judge makes sure that Abrego Garcia has access to his wife and his children and his lawyer. Okay, and that's all, his family, that's all right there. So that, take that'll be a good win. That's a big step up. At least he has access, whereas before he had none. At least he's in the same country now. So with that, I think that's Judge Xinis has had it with the government. She's going to rule against him. With that criminal case, that judge, it seems like it's going to go forward. I kind of almost get this feeling like the judge just wants to see, like, what evidence does the government have. Like, he wants that discovery. There'll at least be discovery, or whatever that is, with the evidence coming forward. And at that point, I don't know that the judge is going to continue keeping him incarcerated, or I think that whatever is ruled is going to be very favorable to Abrego Garcia. That and the judge is going to be very compassionate towards him and what he's been through, and is going to rule in his favor most of the time, so if not all the time. So that's what I'm getting with that. I do know that the other cases, they're still moving forward. They're still trying to get the rest of those men back, which it would include Andre Romero. So if you haven't seen Tim Miller and Sarah Longwell and someone else, I don't know, John, anyway, I almost want to say, I don't know what his last name is. They did a special thing on Andre Romero. Go watch it. It's so good, and it's so funny. And Tim Miller is, he's got great legs. I'll just say that. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, then go see that. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It was a lot of fun, and it brought attention to that. They're keeping it, in the public light, to get these men home. So hopefully, and I did get that those men will be brought home. Okay, so that can't happen soon enough. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'll put some more readings up here for you to check out and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, here's going to be your chance, to subscribe, like, and watch some more videos. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.